assassin, Timbo Sullivan! Give it up.
Hello, 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 Greenwich. That's the most amount of energy I've used all day. So this is the 8th time I'm doing stand-up tonight. Whee! And I don't know if any of you ever remember the 8th time you knocked one out, but I do, and it was rubbish. One thing about doing stand-up is you have to start using Facebook. I know there's a load of people here that have stopped using Facebook. One thing I've noticed is you get those things that pop up that tell you what you was doing 15 years ago, what you was doing 10 years ago. And what I've noticed is 15 years ago, all of my pictures are me and my mates trying to hide cigarettes. Yeah. And then 10 years ago, it's me and my friends trying to hide our guns and just tensing our necks. And then more recently, it's just pictures of me trying to hide how ludicrously boring my life's become. So I started doing stand-up. So at work, we talk about this ignorance is bliss. Like, where's the boss? Where's the things? Ignorance is bliss. Don't worry about it. You'll be happy. I also think being smart would be pretty good. Well, I'd like to know things. Anyone else here know things? Well, no, I'm stuck in this middle place where you're either... You're like you're smart enough to realise there's a problem, but too stupid to figure it out. And what that's left me with is just a load of really bad opinions on the world. Like one of them I'm going to share. And, after I find out most of this room's Tories, it might not go down very well. But I drive a green van, so if you want to slash the tyres, it's over there somewhere. So I think Boris Johnson's done quite a good thing for this country. And, well, as we found out, he hasn't. But I think he's done a great thing. And that's realising that that's what it would look like if we shaved the Cookie Monster. One of my other unpopular opinions is, the Pringle guy with the tash and the little eyes. I think he's Stalin, you know. Hear me out. There's reason to this. When you look in the Pringle tube, when you look inside the Pringle tube, everything is equal. And just like communism, once you pop, you can't stop. Sorry, I'm just reading my scribblings off the bed. I've got this issue. Like, there's a lot of people out there that have this thing called resting bitch face. Like, it must be a thing, because even my dad talks about it. There's a couple of you out there. Smile. But I've got this thing called resting chill face, which means regardless of how nervous or how scared I am, I appear to have it together. I assure you I don't. But the other problem with having a resting chill face is no one believes you. Like, I've broken a lot of bones in my body over my life of being just an idiot man. And no one's ever believed me. And 10 years ago, I was 19, I smoked a doobie in my friend's garage. And as I've walked out, I've fallen over and I broke my nose, my jaw, and my ribs. And I guess you could say I fought the floor and the floor won. But I got to the hospital and my dad was sat there and he was like, "Did you smoke the gear, son?" And I was like, I couldn't talk, I was missing the end of my tongue. But for years and years, my dad told this story about my son would never do drugs. Why would he ever do drugs? You know, he's done it once and he hurt himself, he'd never do it again. What he doesn't know is my dad didn't raise a quitter. And I'm a firm believer that once you fall off a horse and it kicks you on the way down, you smoke that horse for at least 10 more years. I've recently changed careers in the past year. I went from being a builder electrician for my whole working life, so I now work in the film industry. And one thing I've found is punctuation's really important. I don't mean by getting there on time. Like, I work with creatives, so time is a concept. But one thing I have realised is the way you phrase things. Like, on building sites, you can say anything to anyone in any manner. So you could be like, "I'm going to the fucking shop. What do you want, you silly prick?" And they'd be like, "A Galaxy, please?" Well, the other day I was at work fixing something, and I've thought to myself, I'm going to go to the shop. And I know that one of the people I work with likes a particular chocolate bar, and I've just gone, do you want a Kit Kat Chunky? And as I've looked up, I've realised that Natalia, the art director, stood there, and if it wasn't for her being a powerlifter and taking it as a compliment, it probably went a different way. Well, that's what the HR person said. I'm going to leave you with one last bit, and where I've spent most of my career on building sites, and like, it's funny. I'm hoping this culture's leaving the world, but there's an awful lot of bullshit that goes on.